So if you want to ask me, the question is, what is the role of a party chairman when the party is in government? The role of a party chairman when a party is in government is a lobbyist role. You lobby. You lobby for yourself if you want. You lobby for people. You lobby for contractors because you have influence. In Fanti, I think they call it sympathy. You are an elder. You don't have real power, but you're an elder that people respect. So you walk into Jubilee House at 11 o'clock in the morning. Everybody will be saluting you. Oh, party chairman, party chairman. What are you looking for? I want to see the old man. You climb upstairs to the 4th floor. The old man secretary sees you. Oh, party chairman is here. You go to president. Oh, a party chairman is here to see you. President will say, well, let him come, of course. You go to see president. You are going to lobby. So you go and say, Mr. President, this contractor who really helped us, they are not paying him. Charlie, tell your people to pay him. You know, the guy, that rally we did in Tamale, he's the one who paid for everything. He's the one who brought the lights to the rally in Obuasi. Please, sort him out. And then the president might say, okay, party chairman has spoken. He'll call Minister of Finance. Ato, do you know this contractor X? Why are we not paying him? He says, oh, we'll pay next week. So, look, party chairman has come to speak about it. So then you go to communication minister. I say, communication minister, our party officers don't have computers. Can you get us iMac, the latest iMac 2020? Gets us about 70 or so. The communication minister can call a contractor who is doing business with the Ministry of Communication and beg him that, look, you are doing business with us. You're going to make a lot of money. Can you spend some of your profit to buy computers for my party people? Party chairman is on my neck. That's the role of a party chairman in government. That's how it is. So Aseidu Nketiah is inexperienced. He has misunderstood the role of a party chairman in government. And so he thinks that he's still the party chairman in opposition, making decisions, towering above the flag bearer, deciding who comes to parliament and who doesn't lead parliament, making all of those changes. That time is gone. He's completely inexperienced. He doesn't understand it. And that's the problem he's having. And he's going to have a major problem if he doesn't recoil and become a lobbyist as a chairman of the party in government. Because nobody's going to pander to you. You have less influence. You have less money. You have less power. Who's going to talk to you? That's the problem. Aseidu Nketiah is inexperienced. Very, very inexperienced in handling party chairman of a party in government. Now, the other thing that is disturbing for Aseidu Nketiah is that in this Fourth Republic, there's been only one candidate who has wanted to be presidential candidate, who has been on the opposite side of the Jubilee House or the castle and has won. Often, the castle wins who they want to become presidential candidate. That's been the story globally. Whoever they want to be the next candidate, he wins. If you go to the famous story of England in the 90s, when they pushed Margaret Thatcher out, Margaret Thatcher didn't want Michael Heseltine. Everybody wanted Heseltine. Margaret Thatcher wanted John Major. John Major became the prime minister. That's how it works. It's only Adodankwa Akufo-Addo who in 2007 was able to fight off a very major uphill task from the castle against Kufuor and Alan Kyerematen. And he won. But even look at the victory he won. It was short of a second round. But Akufo-Addo was that powerful. His mobilization skills were so strong. And Akufo-Addo had been a national organizer of the party. So that was a really different kettle of fish. And he had a lot of support. So he's the only one in the Fourth Republic and perhaps in long history who has been able to achieve that. If the president doesn't want you to succeed him, half the time, 70%, 85% of the time, you will not succeed him. Aseidu Nketiah must get that very clear. So if you want to be presidential candidate of a party, the first vote you have to win is the vote of the sitting president. If you can't get the vote of the sitting president, my brother, forget about it. You're not going anywhere. You can be the biggest of anything. You have to be an Akufo-Addo to be able to ignore the vote of the sitting president and still win. And it was that Akufo-Addo episode that now changed constitutions of political parties in Ghana, where more than 2,000 people are voting for the presidential candidate because they're trying to reduce the influence of presidents, but it hasn't been reduced. Akufo-Addo stood for Bawumia and he won it. The other thing we have to talk about is this before we get to the videos. When you look at their political trajectory, to be party chairman is a different path from being presidential candidate. Aseidu Nketiah must get that very clear. So it's like a road, okay? Or a train that is one way and then branches out into two ways. That's how the political journey is. We all start at the same place and then you branch out into executive government or you branch out into party. So you look at the likes of B.J. Darocha from 1992. Darocha doesn't want to be presidential candidate. No way. He could have, if he wanted to contest in 1992 as a flag bearer to challenge Eduboahin, Darocha would have been formidable. But he doesn't like that because we are all different. He doesn't want to be presidential candidate or president of the country. He wants to run the party, so he wants to be party chairman. Odoi Sykes, Peter Ala Ajete, all these people, A.A. Munufi, Alhaji Isifu Ali, Kobna J, they don't want to be presidential candidate at all. They just don't want to be. So they go the path of the party. So if you go the path of the party, you cannot then come around and say that now you want to be presidential candidates. You can't do that. So look at MPP today. You see the likes of Samuel Oku and these guys. Samuel Oku started as the party. As Akufo-Addo was national organizer before. Samuel Oku started as the party. Samuel Oku has decided that he wants to cut another path. He wants executive government. So he does an executive position at NLA. He goes to parliament. If MPP comes to power, he wants to be a minister, and then he will cut his path from there. He's not going back to be general secretary of the party. No, that is gone as far as he's concerned. Kojo, Ponkroma, and all these are friends. They don't want to be party executives. If Samuel Oku wants to be party executive, he can run for MPP general secretary and win. But that's not the path. He's gone onto the executive path. You decide where you want to go. It's going to be very, very difficult for Aseidu Nketiah to navigate that. But before I get to that trajectory, let's look at the videos of what happened. And I'm going to say a few things. Now, let's watch the video from Tamale, the first video early in the morning, where Aseidu Nketiah arrived at Haruna Iddrisu's constituency, and listen to what he said.
And I said that we have to change the forward line of parliament. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to win elections. President Mahama disagreed with me, but I said that, look, you have elected me as chairman of this party. I am the coach of the party going into the election. So let me make the changes that will win us the election. When we win, we all enjoy together.
So now you see, Aseidu Nketiah is being credited with a lot of wisdom. But on this occasion, the wisdom eluded him completely. It departed from him. How do you go to Haruna Iddrisu's constituency? And this matter that is dead and buried, and NDC has won a great victory. Everybody's excited about the victory. This matter is dead and buried. And then you go and resurrect the matter. And you don't resurrect it by apologizing. You resurrect it by telling the people of Tamale South that if you hadn't made those changes, perhaps the NDC would have not won an election. That's an anathema. That's a cardinal sin. You can't do that. That's no wisdom. That's empty wisdom. You can't be a wise man, or you are touted as a wise man, and then you go and do this. You go and sit in Haruna Iddrisu's constituency, and Haruna Iddrisu is a tower in the NDC as far as the North is concerned, and even globally. You go to his constituency, he's not there, and then you tell them that if I didn't remove your brother, we wouldn't have won the election. This NDC election, which is the biggest in the history of the Fourth Republic, cannot be said to have been won by only one aspect. And you see, if you look at President Mahama's appointments, you see that he had recognized that. So appointments have gone to civil society, appointments have gone to journalists, appointments have gone to people who are non-core to the NDC agenda. And these appointments have gone because the president has recognized that the victory that he got and the victory that the NDC got was a victory made of many strands. It wasn't a victory because Aseidu Nketiah did this, or John Mahama did that, or Sam George did this. Many people contributed. So all of those aspects of people who contributed have been recognized in the appointments that the president has given. Now, if you're a wise chairman of a party, even if you look at the appointments president has given, you will not go and make that preposterous statement that it was because of your decision to remove somebody. That is why the party won. That if you hadn't removed them, the party would have lost the election. I mean, that is the lowest. I can't see how anybody who is described as a wise man will go and say something like that. But Aseidu Nketiah said it.